This past weekend turned out to be one of the more exciting weekends of the college football season. We had a number of close finishes, shocking upsets, and a lot of craziness. Here are my 10 winners and losers from week 9 of the college football season. Before I get to today's video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. I'm posting college football videos all season, so make sure to subscribe so you can join one of the best college football communities here on YouTube. Also, don't forget to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm and helps share the video with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. We'll kick things off with probably the biggest winner of the weekend, and that's Kansas. If you were watching the game, this was a true back and forth contest where honestly anyone could have won. Kansas came out with the game-winning touchdown in the final minute, and they defeated the Sooners by 5 points. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but they kept showing them on the broadcast, and this was truly a historic win for Kansas. It's like their first win over Oklahoma in a couple decades, their first win at home over a top 10 team, I want to say since the 80s. There were a lot of firsts in this game for Kansas, so what a monumental win for the program. This was a game that I'm sure not a lot of people watch, but Clemson fell to NC State and fell to 4-4 on the season. The Tigers are now 2-4 in conference play, and not only are they not even in contention for the ACC title game, they're actually in contention to be one of the worst teams in the ACC. Currently, there are only 4 teams that have a worse record in conference play. There's also only 2 teams in the entire conference that have fewer than 4 wins, the number Clemson has. I might have a video coming this week going more in depth on what exactly is wrong with Clemson, but this was a team that started the season ranked inside the top 10. Now, there's a solid chance they might not even make a bowl game. Oregon knocked off number 13 Utah on the road by nearly 30 points. I've talked about this in recent videos, but picking up a victory in Utah is one of the toughest things to do in all of college football, as they have one of the best home field advantages. Well, that wasn't the case on Saturday, as Oregon dominated them on both sides of the ball. Bo Nix continued to add to his Heisman campaign as they had over 250 yards with 3 total touchdowns. Meanwhile, for Oregon's defense, they're looking like they're truly one of the best in the entire country. They held the Utes to only 6 points, and they didn't allow them to score a single touchdown. For the game, Utah had only 13 first downs and overall only 240 yards of total offense. I've said it and I'll say it again, Oregon looks like one of the most complete teams in all of college football on both sides of the ball, and I think they're a legitimate national championship contender. I talked about this game earlier, but we gotta go to the other side because Oklahoma fell to Kansas by 5 points. This one stings even more for Oklahoma considering they had the lead late in this game. Had they just gotten a 4th down stop on Kansas, the Sooners escaped with the victory and are still undefeated. Instead, they allowed Kansas to get it on 4th down, and they allowed them to score the go-ahead touchdown with a minute remaining. I don't know what the deal was, but Oklahoma just refused to throw the ball. For the game, they attempted only 19 passes compared to Kansas's 32. For the game, the Sooners rushed the ball 55 times. Granted, they still rushed for 270 yards and had 5 rushing touchdowns, but the fact they couldn't throw the ball, especially when it mattered most on the final drive, it turned out to hurt them. With the loss, Oklahoma is now tied with 4 other teams in the Big 12 for the best record in conference play. They still have a shot of reaching the college football playoff and the Big 12 title game, but man, did their chances take a massive hit this weekend. It's been a rough couple years for Georgia Tech, but they're turning things around in 2023, and they picked up probably their biggest win of the season as they took down North Carolina 46-42. This was an exciting back and forth game, and it looks like North Carolina was going to escape at the end, but Georgia Tech scored 14 unanswered points, pulling away to win by 4. Haynes King had quite the day for the Yellow Jackets as he had nearly 400 yards of total offense with 4 touchdowns. Meanwhile on the ground, Dante Smith led the team with 180 yards. Overall for the game, the Yellow Jackets rushed for 350 yards with 2 scores. Now as of right now, it doesn't look like Georgia Tech is going to be playing in the ACC title game, but they're only 1 game back of Louisville. So if a couple things go their way, I'm just saying there's a chance Georgia Tech could sneak their way into the ACC title game. Before we get to the rest of my winners and losers, I'd like to share with you guys how you can can win money during the college football season. I've partnered with Underdog Fantasy to bring you this amazing deal. If you download the Underdog app and use promo code Harris, they'll match your first deposit up to $100. Yep, they're giving you up to $100 of free money. I've had a lot of success all season with college football and the NFL, and you can do the exact same with Underdog Fantasy. So make sure to use promo code Harris for a 100% deposit match up to $100. You can also sign up using the link in my description as well. Although they won this game and scored 50 points, USC is still a loser. They needed a lot to go their way in the fourth quarter to escape Cal with a 1-point victory. Now, entering the game, the Golden Bears were one of the worst teams in the entire Pac-12. USC was a 10-point favorite, and they were expected to win this game with ease, and it was anything but that. Caleb Williams had himself quite the day, as he threw for 370 yards and had 4 total touchdowns. The offense isn't the problem for USC, it's their abysmal defense. Overall, they allowed this Cal team to score 49 points. They had 29 first downs and 530 yards of total offense. Not to mention, that's while USC forced 4 Cal turnovers. Had it not been that many, Cal likely ends up winning this game. Again, USC was able to win this game, so I'm not going to be too harsh on them, but man, were they this close to having a 3-game losing streak. This game means absolutely nothing except for me personally, as my Arizona State Sun Devils took down Washington State 38-27. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, what's the big deal of a 1-win Arizona State team taking down an okay 4-3 Washington State team? Well, Arizona State, and I'll say this right now with confidence, is the best 2-6 team in all of college football. If you've watched any of their games recently, you would know that they play every team really tough. They could have beaten USC, they could have beaten Colorado, and they could have beaten Washington. Now, ASU finally picked up a victory, and it was an impressive one. Although ASU isn't going to be going to a bowl game or anything like that, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to them because what a performance they had this weekend. Oregon State fell in a close win to Arizona by 3 points on the road. I knew that this was going to be a tough matchup for the Beavers. As I said in last week's video, any Pac-12 team that has to go to Arizona for a night game, things usually don't go well for them. For the Beavers, this loss is especially painful because this really hurts their chances of reaching the Pac-12 title game. With the loss, there are now 3 teams ahead of them in the conference standings, and they're tied with 3 other teams as well. Had they picked up the victory, they would actually be tied with Oregon for the 3rd best conference record. Now, sure, Oregon State could still somehow make it to the Pac-12 title game, but they're going to have to win out the rest of the way, and a lot of things are going to have to go in favor of the Beavers. Louisville moved to 7-1 on the season with a 23-point victory at home over number 20 Duke. Now, I'm not certain whether or not Duke was just a team that should not have been ranked number 20, or maybe Louisville was a team that should have been ranked a lot higher than 18. We know what they can do offensively, as that wasn't the issue for the Cardinal. Defensively was my biggest takeaway, as they held the Blue Devils to 0 points, 9 first downs, and only 202 total yards of offense. I mean, it was pure domination on both sides of the ball. After this victory, Louisville really solidified themselves as the 2nd best team in the ACC. We all know Florida State is going to be playing in the ACC title game at the end of the season, but now, barring a late season collapse, it looks like the Cardinals are going to be the team that the Seminoles will face. We'll wrap things up with another team in the ACC, and man, what a collapse from North Carolina. Just a couple of weeks ago, this was a team that was ranked inside the top 10, not only having ACC title aspirations, but college football playoff aspirations. They've now lost back-to-back games, both games that they honestly should have won with ease. This past weekend they lost to Georgia Tech, a team they were favored to beat by 12 points. Drake May did all he could, as he had nearly 400 yards of offense with 3 total touchdowns. It's just that North Carolina's defense couldn't stop anything. I mean, for the game, they allowed Georgia Tech to score 46 points and have 29 first downs. And that's not even the worst part. Overall for the game, North Carolina allowed the Yellow Jackets to have 635 total yards of offense. I mean, they rushed for 350 yards. North Carolina was a team that had so much promise just a couple of weeks ago, but man, back-to-back performances not only eliminated them from playoff contention, but most likely eliminated them from ACC title contention as well. Well, those are my 10 winners and losers from week 9. Who was the biggest winner to you? And who was the biggest loser? Whoever it is, let me know in the comment section down below. Before you leave, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. I'm posting college football videos all season, so make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. Also, don't forget to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm and helps share the video with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.